My statistical question is there a connection between grade level proficiency in schools with higher percentage of students who receive free and reduced lunch and schools with lower percentage of free and reduced lunch in Catawba County? The variables I used for this were the percent of students considered at grade level proficient and the percent of students that received the free and reduced lunch. And here I used 18 of the schools in Catawba County. I mainly used three of them: Oxford Elementary, St. Stephen's Elementary, Shells Fort Elementary, and grades 3 through 5 for each of those schools. And from these schools, I compared the percent of students receiving the free and reduced lunch and the percent of students that are grade level proficient. Here I picked graphs that showed the percent of students that were grade level proficient and used a box and whisker plot as well as the mean and the median. And then I also did the same thing for the percent of students that received free and reduced lunch. So the first bar graph shows the percent of the students that are grade level proficient, and the mean was about 61% and the median was about 57%. And then for the graph that showed the students who received free and reduced lunch, the mean was 59.5% and the median was 58.5%. And there were no outliers in either of those graphs. And for this last graph, I compared the two to see the correlation between the students that received free and reduced lunch and as well as the students that were grade level proficient. And I said that the graph was slightly skewed, but not enough for it to really affect the data. It's, for the most part, it's symmetrical, as you can see. And to look further into the correlation between the free and reduced lunch and grade level proficiency, I compared Oxford Elementary and Shells Fort Elementary on the school report card DPI's website. And Shells Fort Elementary was higher than Oxford Elementary in both math and reading proficiency, as well as the county itself. So grade level proficiency, it could possibly affect the percentage, be affected by the percentage of students that receive free and reduced lunch, but overall it doesn't, there's not enough of like a correlation for it to really make a difference. And it could be argued that if your family is part of a higher economic class, that parents would be more involved in the student's education, which would, in the end, make the students be more apt to be at grade level proficiency. And to look into application of a broader spectrum on the school system, I'm from Catawba County, and it shocked me that there was a high percentage of grade level proficiency because it is a very like rural area, and there are a lot more lower income families. And seeing that Shells Fort had a higher grade level proficiency didn't really surprise me because of the area that Shells Fort Elementary comes from. It's a lot of lake houses and a lot of people that are at a higher economic status than schools in Catawba County. And while the percentage of students that receive free and reduced lunch doesn't necessarily reflect onto the number of students that are grade level proficient, it is displayed there with Shells Fort being higher, having higher grade level proficiency in math and English than even the county. I think it's very important that schools do offer free and reduced lunch for lower income houses because those houses may not have the same support as students who come from higher household incomes.